Hello, Internet! I wanted to do a quick review of Invincible Iron Man number 25. So let's take a peek. So the main thing in this book is talking about Stark, and after, he deleted his memory and now he reinstalled it, which is just weird enough. They decided to, talk about the fact that he only did his last download of his memory pretty much just before the whole Civil War thing started, which means even in continuity is losing some years, and in, comic book terms, we're losing pretty much everything of the character. And literally everything Fraction's done with this entire series is lost from Stark's memory, though they say he read it so he knows what happened, but he wasn't there, so obviously details are missing, how things went down aren't exactly there. But as opposed to when Spider-Man had this whole retcon with Mephisto, all the side characters, and with Iron Man having much more definitive side characters as an ongoing basis, the ramifications can still play in, and that whole element can be something new rather than something that just has to be dodged around as a story element. Then another focus in this book is you have two females from Hammer trying to sell the army on this new suit that they have with, apparently there'll be a few of them with these pilots that are part of it, but they have to be surgically modified in order to run it. They need to have implants and all this, and it sounds like there might be more shady stuff to come, but the whole idea is much more mech, the idea that you need to have inputs and you need to be in this giant suit rather than the way Iron Man's been run. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if they kind of play on those themes in some ways or if it's glossed over later. Another weird little bit in here is after the way everything ended in the last few comics, Stark has come back, but he's essentially broke. He has no company left. He has a few base assets, but he has Pepper Potts on board and a few of his old staff, but really, he's at baseline. So in this comic, they actually reveal how he plans on getting out of that is taking some repulsor stuff and creating essentially a stable new energy source and entering the energy business, and he does in a very bold way, but the way that they're going about this is interesting, and it's actually very parallel to where Wildcats 3.0 came in so many years ago, and it looks like it could be run very similarly as a comic book, which would be interesting, because there really hasn't been that sort of corporate espionage story told in any mainstream comic, to my knowledge, really since. It'd be kind of nice to see that kind of element played in again. But at the same time, this is an Iron Man comic, which is where this comic was lacking, is after months of just seeing Stark and this and that, I kind of want to see Iron Man, I don't know, blow up a tank. Something, just a little bit of action would have been nice. But I have a feeling it's coming right around the corner, so we should see it again. On a similar note, there was this movie came out, Iron Man 2, you might have heard of it. Anyways, because I don't like talking about movies, I found a friend to do it for me, so here you go. Alright, and to help me review Iron Man 2, the cinematic event of the month, is my good friend and personal photographer, Chase Hoffman. You can check him out at chasehoffman.com and his Flickr page, and I'll link that in the bar.
The
Underbar. Anyways, what did you think of Iron Man Dose?
I liked Iron Man 2. It had good actors. You had Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow, Don Cheadle, and Mickey Rourke. They all did a pretty good job. Although Mickey Rourke felt a little out of place because he's not very Russian.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a fun movie. You're not like there's a part where they get all sciencey, and that kind of got on my nerves, but when it comes to the action, Don Cheadle giving one-liners and Robert Downey Jr. acting like a narcissistic asshole, it works. It works really well. It is fun, but you don't expect too much.
What do you think of Scarlett Johansson's bit as the Black Widow? As someone who doesn't know the character as well.
She did a very good job.
Do you felt she had the assets to pull off the role?
Yes.
Alright. Anything else about the movie you want to add in? Something about the element that he creates?
Oh, yeah. So in order to power his suit, he has to get a new element, so he builds a makeshift proton accelerator in his basement using books to stack and perfectly level the cube, and then he uses a prism, puts it in there by hand, no worry about finger oils, huge high powered laser, just creates a new element. Totally stable, picks it up right off there. Not that real scientists, when they've created new elements, they can't even verify them because they don't exist for more than a few milliseconds. So that part was a bit...
Awesome.
Yeah, no.
Oh. Alright.
But the highlights are War Machine, Scarlett Johansson.
Alright. Stunning review. So yeah, that was all about Iron Man this time, and I'll catch you back soon with another review.